Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I extend a very, very warm and a very hearty welcome to all of you to this 5th edition of the webinar that we're running for the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I'm outside and I kindly request my Vice Chairman, Preeti Savla, to kindly take over. And as always, thank you for your participation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. C. Shri Priya Kumar, the chairperson of CLCGC committee. I have with me the senior Central Council member, C. Pramod Jain. We are at the institute and taking this session. And Sarika Singhal, she is the secretary of CLCGC. We have with us Joint Director Shri Kumar Ji. And from the MCA Ministry of Corporate Affairs, we have Mr. Rohit Bhatt, L&T, and various other members from L&T who are giving the support for this LLP forms. So friends, since last 1 month, we are on this job of supporting the MCA and seeing that all of you, the members who are actually using this are any issues are there, we are sorting out those issues, and please bear with us. We are there because always you see all the issues have all the technology, new technology as a toothing problem, and this is also the toothing problem. And once it is sorted out, everyone will enjoy the fruits of it, this new technology. And with this opening remarks, I request Central Council member Sri Pramod Jain to give his words of wisdom.
Thank you, Preeti ji. The chairperson of the Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee, CA Shri Priya Kumar, the Vice Chairperson Preeti Salva ji, from the Ministry Shri Kumar ji and others, from the L&T Rohit Bhatt ji and others, and all dear friends, sabko mera namaste. In fact, this committee, CLCGs of ICI along with MCA and L&T infrastructure is doing a great job in educating the members at large regarding the new way the LLP forms and incorporations are being done. Yes, there are certain issues which are being handled by L&T with the active participation of ICI out here. I'll request Rohit ji, when they'll be giving a presentation today, it is the 6th edition. It is on, I suppose, Form 8 and initial Form 11. So the initial problem which the members they are facing is that how to go about, how to register their DSC. There is a new system, and which I suppose in all the editions which we are giving this presentation, we should inform all the members in each of the editions, I would say, because still the members are finding it difficult. And I'll request the secretary, CA Sarika Singhal ji, to make all these videos available later on and tell the link where they are available. These are available, but guide the members every time that all the previous ones also, where they are available.
Sir, yesterday we sent a mass mail.
No, mass mail ke alawa bhi I
with all the links.
Pramod ji, every time we send a webinar invite, we put it. It's a brilliant suggestion. We'll take it forward.
No,
yes.
What I'm saying, Chairperson, those links, are they made available on the CLCGC page of ICI?
Yes, they are.
On the CLCGC,
the links are also provided.
ICI.org.
Every time we send a webinar, we send the links of the previous webinars.
No, I agree. But
we'll ensure this is done, Pramod ji.
No, I'm just suggesting out here on the page, and then disclose that page through this sharing the page. Okay, you can go here because they will be telling there that okay, you go to the ICI page, CLCGC page. Here is the link. Click it, and you'll have it. So that would be a great dissemination. Just that would be helpful to all. Have a great learning today. All the best.
I also request our chairperson, madam. I request our chairperson, madam, Shri Priya Kumar, to give her words of wisdom. since she is traveling, Shri Priya, please. Shri Priya, madam, is it possible for you to share your video and talk? Sarika?
Ma'am, I don't think so as of now. We can hand over to Mr. Rohit to take it over.
Okay. So, Mr. Rohit Bhatt,
First,
24/7, he is
please-
working on this and is always available.
Ma'am,
for-
please give it to first to Shri Kumar sir, then we'll start, ma'am.
Okay. So we have with us Shri Kumar ji also. So it will be a pleasure to hear him. So, Shri Kumar ji, your words of wisdom, that will be really helpful and grateful. Listen.
Yeah, thank you, Preeti ji. And I welcome Mr. Pramod Jain, Sarika ji, and all office bearers of ICAI and members of CA Institute. Hearty welcome once again, and welcome to this webinar series. In today's webinar, we are going to see how to upload or file Form 8 and Form 11 seamlessly. Our technical team, headed by Rohit and Sakshi, they will guide us. Basically, we have made some rule changes with regard to Form 8 and Form 11. So for Form 8, that is for Statement of Accounts and Solvency, rule number 24, sub-rule 26 of LLP rules got amended. So according to which, if any LLP which is under CARP or insolvency process, we have made provision for RP or IRP or LLP administrator to digitally sign and upload this form number 8, that is Statement of Accounts. And similarly, with regard to Form 11, that is Annual Return for LLP also, we have enabled and rule changes have been done. This is Rule 25 has got amended, Sub-Rule 2. So, in case if the LLP's turnover is up to 5 crores and contribution is to up to 50 lakhs, and if it is under a CARP process, similarly, the RP or IRP and the LLP administrators can Form 11. And in forms, wherever the word fines are there, we have changed it to penalty in the annual return. So these all are the changes. Now I request Rohit ji to take forward this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Rohit ji?
We would now request Rohit ji to take it up.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, Sakshi.
Good afternoon, all. Yeah, this is Sakshi this side from LTI. So I'll just share my screen. We'll quickly start with Form 8, how Form 8 is to be filed. And we'll also be taking up queries that all the stakeholders have with respect to Form 8 and Form 11. Now, Form 8, it has been, it can be filed for two purposes, which is statement of accounts and solvency, and also for charge. So we will be taking up the statements of accounts and solvency. Please request you to let me know once my screen is visible.
Sorry, ma'am, I got just stuck. So before we start 8 and partially 11, what we need to also focus is that what is the progress that we have on the resolution so far, and it is going good. We have been calling and we have been getting calls, and the resolution of the issues have been going good, and we could see at least the initial forms wherever webinars were done, we could see a smooth processing happening from the filing perspective. So we see these webinars are helping drastically to the users, and thank you to ICAIs for conducting these sessions to make sure that this is getting to the end of the users and they are able to file these forms. This is very helpful, and we'll continue to have these sessions, for all the forms, so that it is all useful and it is available at the respective places where ICAI is putting these videos for users. So before starting, sir, I will just again repeat one or two sentences from the login perspective. The login again, I would request, because we have been receiving many calls on login. that people have some login issues. I would request again, and please don't, if you are a V2 registered already a user, please don't create a fresh user in V3, because your current V2 ID password will very much work in V3. You just need to go there, create that, and make sure that your user IDs and passwords will work. If there are some specific issues, because there are multiple login IDs being created for a same email ID, now in V3, at least your login ID will be your email ID. So there is a conflict going on the backend with us, and we are having a really tough time with this, because there are a lot of lot of login IDs being created against each email ID. So please, I would request, keep it as simple. Don't create a fresh one. But if you wanted to create a fresh one, use the different email ID than V2. That will help us as well as you as well to have a smooth accessing of the forms. Please make sure that all the IDs for V2 can be simply be logged into V3, and you can simply log in and access your forms. So that is one of the request to all the users, to make sure that to follow this request. And other than that, I would see that there are some DSC issues coming in. We had made sure all the DSC part has been resolved, and in Philip forms also most of the issues has been resolved. So those two processes are going smoothly now, and we are able to see that users are able to file those forms now. Last but not the least, from the pin code perspective, I see lot many issues are coming from the pin code. Sir, we have collated or got all the pin codes, and I think in the weekend we'll be able to uploading into the system, and your pin codes which were missing in the system, you will be able to find it. But if there are still misses, we'll make sure that those have been taken care, but make sure you are raising a ticket or an error screenshot and share so that we can keep all updated in our database. So please make sure the issues are being raised to the help desk, and the tickets are being raised, so that we'll reach out to you guys to make sure that your problems are getting resolved. Thank you very much, Sakshi. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
170 visit आप करवा रहे हो, अलग कहानी है.
So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Sakshi.
Okay, so as we are receiving a lot of queries on DSC association also, I would like to just highlight quickly that stakeholders can see the updates here, all the queries and all the instructions with respect to go live and how the DSC association is to be done. You'll be able to find on MCA portal as well. If you go to important updates, you'll also find the instructions here also. So along with the link that ICAI is regularly sharing with you all, we would also request you to go through the MCA website to check the important updates with respect to any issues that you're facing. Now I'll quickly go back to the slide for Form 8. Before I go ahead with how the Form 8 is to be filed, I would like to highlight a few points that the signatories of this particular form can be the designated partner of the LLP, the authorized representative in case if it is an FLLP for an LLP. The auditor is also required to be, his DSCs are also required to be affixed here in certain cases. And as Sri Kumar sir rightly mentioned, that interim resolution professional, liquidator, and resolution professional are also now allowed to sign this particular form in case if the company is marked under liquidation or if it is under CIRP. The applicant who is filing this form, who is trying to log in and access this form, should be a business user. That means a registered user will not be able to access this particular form. The user needs to register himself as business user, either designated partner or the LLP should have a login ID on its own, and a professional can anyhow log in and access any particular form, including Form 8 also. The LLP for which the LLP or FLLP for which you want to file this particular form should be valid and the LLPIN and FLLPIN should also be approved one only. It should be in approved stage. The signatories who will be signing this form should have valid DPIN or PAN as applicable, and membership number also, and their DSCs should be associated with their respective user IDs. The DSCs again should not be expired, they should also be valid. Now let's quickly go to, if you go to the MCA portal, and if you go to the MCA portal, go on the MCA services, you'll find LLP e-filing where all the forms are placed. Like I told you for the other forms also, for which we had the webinar earlier. Form 8 is also listed in that particular list only. Once you click on that, you'll be redirected to the login page. If you want, you can directly log in and access this particular form as well. Or when you're redirected to this particular page, you need to put your credentials here and you'll be redirected directly to the Form 8. Once you log in, this is how the form will open. As I mentioned earlier also, that all the instruction kits are placed on the top of each and every form. Once you click on this particular link, you'll be a new tab will open where instruction kit will get opened. You need not download it in your system. You can anytime refer to it online itself. There are different steppers which have been created. As these are already covered earlier, I will not go in depth into that. There are two options, as I mentioned earlier, that for which you can file this particular form. The first one is statement of account and solvency, and the other one is charge. So today we will be covering this particular statement of account and solvency part. This is more or less like we used to file earlier in the earlier version only. I will go. I'll not go field by field. However, I will quickly let you know wherever the changes have been made or wherever the stakeholder is getting stuck, because we have received certain queries on Form 8 as well. So basis that, I will try to help and clear the doubts of the stakeholders here. So the date that you select here will also get pre-filled at certain places. You need to make sure that the date that you're selecting should be 31st of March. For the professionals, we have given this search option here. You can click on the search icon. All the LLPs and FLLPs you'll be able to see in your screen. If you give 2 or 3 alphabets, the related names will appear and you can select that particular LLPIN or FLLPIN, and then all the relevant details which are related to that particular LLP or FLLP will get pre-filled here, including the contribution value. So we received certain queries that the contribution value was not getting pre-filled here. This has now been taken care of. The stakeholders should not be facing this challenge now. If in case you are facing any challenge, you can directly reach out to us for that. But we have already resolved this particular issue. All these details will get pre-filled. The jurisdiction of solicitation will be enabled in case if we do not have the database of the jurisdiction for now. If you give this database here, this particular database will get updated in the master database of that LLP, and for future, this will get pre-filled in other forms. So here you need to give the information in jurisdiction, and rest all details will get pre-filled. This is the statement of solvency. You need to click on the check boxes here, and the radio buttons are also given inside the statement of solvency only. It is similar to what it was there in earlier version only. You need to make sure that you're selecting the correct radio buttons, basis which the certification will also be enabled or disabled. The statements of accounts, as you scroll down, you'll be able to see the complete statements of accounts here. The previous year figures will be pre-filled basis whatever the information the stakeholders had given earlier in the previous year in Form 8. All the details will get pre-filled here. This previous year figures, however, are in editable mode, so the users can definitely edit them also. In case if you're not receiving the previous year figures, since these are in editable mode, you can definitely edit them and go ahead with the filing also. the contribution received, the reserve and surplus, if there is any calculation error, if the assets are not matching the liabilities, or any calculation error is there, the system will throw an error. So we received certain uh, issues wherein there was some validation issue in the table. So we would request you to check the calculations are correctly done, whatever the information that you're giving here are correct, so that there is no validation error that comes in the table. So the contribution value, if you're in this particular field, if you're selecting it is less than uh, 25 lakh, or the turnover is less than 40 lakh, you need to make sure that the information that you're given in statements of account or in your income and expenditure statement should also tally with what you're selecting here. In case if it doesn't match, or if there is any discrepancy, the system will throw an error. After you complete all the details, the total amount which is disabled will automatically get filled basis whatever the information you give in the table. The others provision, the contingent liability details, if you select yes, this will get enabled. If you select no, this will be kept hidden. You need to give the details here. Add row and delete row option is given for the user's ease. If there are more than if there is more than one information that the user wants to give, you can click multiple times on add row, and if you want to delete any particular row, you can click here, and the last row will automatically get deleted. You can check the checkbox is also given here. You can select the checkbox and then click on delete row to delete any particular row from in between this table. Then we move ahead to statement of income and expenditure. The dates that you are putting here, okay, so there are 2-3 things that we need to keep in mind when we are selecting the dates. So the system will not accept any date which is of any future. So the date that you're selecting here should be always up to what is current date, that is today's date. And also if you're selecting any date in this from option, there should never be prior to the incorporation date of the LLP or FLLP. So if you're receiving any error here, you need to make sure that the dates are correctly selected. We received certain queries wherein we found out that the user was selecting some date which was prior to the date of incorporation. So that is the reason the system was throwing error here. Again, the previous year figures will get pre-filled here. In case if they are not getting pre-filled, they are anyhow editable. You can definitely edit them and go ahead with the filing. Here also system was we saw some issues wherein the system was throwing this sort of error: please enter a valid amount. So just to clarify that, the gross turnover amount that you enter here and the excise duty or service tax, which is now GST, so if you enter here, you will receive the net amount here after this excise duties subtracted from your gross turnover. The net turnover value will be entered here, and whatever the values you enter in the domestic and export turnover, if it tallies your turnover details here, you'll not receive any error in this particular table. So just to highlight once again, whatever the amount that you're getting here, turnover, should match whatever the information you're putting in the domestic and export turnover information in the below fields. So if you're putting that amount, system will not throw any error. Again, here when you're giving turnover details, you need to make sure that the radio button that you selected in the statement of solvency, that should tally with whatever the information you are putting here. So system will not throw any error if there is no mismatch in the selection of the radio button and the information that you're giving here. After you complete the whole table, you'll be redirected to the next page. Again, to mention here, whenever you're filling the details, please make sure that you're saving the information. If there is any error in the system, the information will not be saved, and you can see in your screen that will be marked in red color if any issue is there. So you need to make sure that you change the details or fill the correct details and save the information, and then move to next page, so that whenever you want to access the information later on also, you can definitely do it from your application history anytime you want. Optional attachment is available. The user can give up to 5 attachments here, as the same was also applicable in earlier version also. You can give up to 5 attachments here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, and as Shrikumar sir also highlighted, this DSC part is something to be highlighted here, wherein this particular portion where designated partner or authorized representative are required to give to affix their DSC, this will be enabled in case the status of the company is not marked under liquidation or under CIRP. So in that case, the designated partner can sign the form giving their DPIN, and authorized representatives can sign this form giving their income tax PAN. So this field will get enabled only if the company is in a normal state, that is not under CIRP or under liquidation. Here the DSC box are disabled, so we also received certain queries that we are not able to affix our DSC in the web form. So to highlight here that we need not affix the DSC in the web form. Once you complete once you completely fill the web form, and once you click on submit button, then PDF automatically gets downloaded in your system, and in that PDF the user is supposed to affix his or her DSC. So here you'll see that the DSC box is not enabled. You'll not be able to do anything with this DSC box, and the DPIN is also getting pre-filled here. This particular portion wherein the signature of interim resolution professional or liquidator, this particular portion will get enabled if the LLP or FLLP is marked under liquidation or under CIRP. So this will also be disabled if in case so any of these fields will get enabled at one time. It is not possible that both the fields will be enabled at the single time. So this will be completely dependent upon what the status of LLP or FLLP is. When we go to the certificate part, so this information the user can give, the designation can be selected from here. All these designations are available in the drop down here, and the user is required to give the correct PAN of the designation that the user is selecting here. In this certificate part, as it was there in earlier version also, designated partner, authorized representative, and auditor can give the certification here. However, when the company is under liquidation or under CIRP, the designated partner and authorized representative will not be allowed to give certification here. And if the contribution is less than 25 lakh or the turnover is less than 45 lakh, then this particular section will be disabled. It will only be enabled. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about when the LLP is marked under liquidation or under CIRP. In that case, auditor will be auto selected only in case the company's turnover is more than 40 lakh or the contribution is more than 25 lakh rupees. In that case, auditor will be auto selected, and auditor will require to certify this particular return. In case if it is under CIRP or under liquidation and this criteria does not fulfill, in that case this particular certification will not be enabled. This will be kept in disabled mode. When the LLP or FLLP is in a normal category, it is not under liquidation. In that case, this particular section will be enabled, and a radio button can be selected basis the contribution and the turnover that the user has selected in the radio button on the first page. So it is like earlier version only, which we had earlier. And then the user will be required to give certification here. The professional will be required to give certification here. As soon as we give the complete information here, the user will get the option to save the information and move to next page. I request you again to click on save as soon as you complete the information. This particular certification will not be allowed to be done unless the user has given the requisite details here and here. So if you have given the complete details here, then only you'll be allowed to fill this information and go ahead with the certification of professional. Once you click on save, all the information will get saved, and later on you can access the complete form, filled form through your application history. Once we click on next here, the user will be given a complete review of the form in one page itself, and also the edit option to edit any information at any particular section, and then save the information then and there only. So as soon as you click on save, and later on when you access this particular form, you'll be able to see the updated information in your application history. Once you, as soon as you review the complete form, submit option will be provided to you instead of next. And as soon as you click on submit, it is this page where the PDF will get downloaded here in your system, and your SRN will get generated. So this does not mean that the form has been submitted to MCA or to ROC. This means that the form has now been, the SRN has been generated for your form. So even later on also, if you want, you can change the information through your application history, and again generate the PDF of this of any particular form, and same SRN will get generated then also after generation of the SRN, and prior to submission of this any particular form to MCA, you can edit that particular form, and same SRN will get generated as soon as you submit it. So this query also was received from few of the stakeholders, that we have filed, our form has been submitted. However, we want to make certain change, and we haven't affixed the DSC. So this is how it will happen. You will be redirected to this particular window, wherein you can see your SRN number, and you will be given an option to choose the DSC affixed file and upload it. As soon as you click on upload and proceed with the payment, after the payment has been made, then only the form will be taken as submitted with MCA. So the user, if in case your PDF is not downloaded, you can click on download PDF here, and then also download the PDF in your system. And there is another option, you can go to your application history, wherein you will get the option to download the PDF, make any changes in the PDF, make any changes in the application that for which SRN has been generated, and also to upload the PDF. So once you click on upload, you will be directly taken to this particular page. As soon as all the DSCs are fixed and the PDF is available with you, you can choose the file here. As you can see, maximum 10 MB size is allowed for all the forms. So including the DSCs and all the attachments, maximum 10 MB has now been allowed for all the forms instead of 6 MB, which was there in earlier version. And you can choose the file here, and as soon as you click on upload, the pre-scrutiny checks of DSC validations and everything will happen. And if all things are correct, you will receive a message on your screen that the document has been successfully uploaded, and you can now proceed with the payment. So this proceed to payment will only get enabled when all the checks have been completed. As soon as you click on that, you'll be redirected to this particular page where you'll find a summary of the complete payment that the user is required to make. You'll get both the options, online and offline. As I have already covered the payment part earlier in earlier forms also, I'll quickly go through all the slides. As soon as you click on any of the methods, you'll be redirected to NTRP portal or Bharat Kosh portal, with whom MCA has now integrated for payment. You'll receive the complete details of whosoever is making the payment, the user who is making the payment, and the complete fee description. You'll receive various options. You can click on any of the options, and success rate percentage is also mentioned, so the user can make an informed decision. You can select UPI option is also available now, including net banking, debit card, and credit card. And user charge is also available on the screen. So once you click on view user charge, you'll receive a complete table of the charge that various banks apply, and the user can make the informed decision by which method he or she wants to go ahead with the payment. You need to enter the CAPTCHA code and click on the checkbox at the bottom of the page and click on pay. You'll be redirected to this particular page, wherein you need to give your card or net banking details. The proceed option will not be enabled till the time the user gives the complete details of net banking or the card. As soon as you give the complete information, the proceed option will get enabled. You will be required to give the OTP, and then here you need to make sure that the pop-ups are enabled in your screen. From the URL portion that you have on your screen, you need to make sure that the pop-ups are enabled there, and you'll give, if the pop-ups are not enabled, you'll definitely get this message once the payment is completed. However, the challan will not be the screen where challan comes, that will not be there. So for that, you need to make sure that the pop-ups are enabled in your screen. This particular screen where where all the challan details will be there will open in next tab. The user can see the SRN number of the form and the Bharat Kosh ID. This is the ID for your payment that you have made. Received from whosoever has made the payment through his user ID, all the information will be pre-populated here. Entity on whose behalf the money is paid, all the details will be pre-populated here, and also a summary of the payment that the user has made against any particular form. All these details will be available here. Also, the user will get an option to download this particular challan in the system. So once you click on this, in this particular format, the challan will be downloaded in your system, and you can keep it for future references also. So this is it on Form 8 from my end. All the queries are welcome. By the time we take up next Form 11, we can take up the queries on Form 8, if any.
Yeah, I'll just pose the queries.
We are ready to take up the.
I'm unable to file resubmission Form 24 for closure of LLP. Oh, I know it is not Form 24 today, but there are 2-3 questions that have come up for resubmission of 24.
Sorry, repeat it. Sorry for.
Form 24 resubmission.
For 24 resubmission, he is not able
Yeah,
to
there
do
are
a.
2-3 questions that have come up for Form 24 resubmission.
Okay, so what is the issue that they are not able to resubmit? Is it from V2 data that is showing that you have filed it there and the resubmission are not able to happen here?
They have just mentioned I'm unable to file resubmission Form 24 for closure of LLP.
So, sir, I would request you to call us or put a number there. We'll reach out to you. We just need to see what is the SRN number for where the data is not coming and you are not able to submit a resubmission for that, sir.
Yeah. Next question is I'm trying to upgrade.
If it is possible, ma'am, he can just refer here the SRN number of that particular Form 24.
Yeah, he must be hearing us, and now he
please
can.
Mention. Please
yeah,
mention the SRN numbers are here itself. We'll just check and let you know, sir.
Divya Sachin Prabhu Bam, please mention the SRN numbers. Request you to mention your SRN number, please. Yeah. Next is I'm trying to upgrade my user category from registered user to business user through profile update. I completed entries in all the required fields except state, city, and area locality, which do not even have the action buttons like edit done. The cursor is also not appearing in any of these 3 fields. When I go to save the page, it prompts that these fields are mandatory fields. How to overcome it has become a nightmare for me.
Sir, this is one of the unique issue. Although we had number of registered users that have upgraded themselves and the number is really huge. If there's a unique case, I would again request you to just call our call center. They will help you. Drop a ticket, sir. Will help you. And please mention your phone number. We'll also call you, sir, if issues is not getting resolved before the next session, sir.
Next, Royji, is the director has to create his user ID under business user category so that he can affix his DSC to any particular LLP form. While feeding details of his address, the correct PIN code 110070 is not accepted. In fact, quite a few PIN codes are still not included in MCA list. Hence, they will not be accepted. Any PIN code other than that is, however, accepted, but then it will lead to wrong locality. Anyway, we tried with wrong PIN code for the time being, but then in the end,
Yes, ma'am, I
OTPs are
got
not
it. I
received.
think, ma'am, it is the same question with the pin codes that we have. The pin codes were taken as is from our existing system, ma'am. We are trying to consolidate the pin codes. Please allow us time, but weekend we are trying to see that these all the pin codes that are not available in the system are being updated. So you want this issue, and there are a number of places this pin code thing are coming up.
Yeah, there's one member, Mr. Arpit Agarwal. I remember if I recall correctly, he raised issue in the last VCM, last to last VCM also. He's saying that I've been assured for a call back, but I am still waiting.
1 second, ma'am. I think you are also talking about the same person. Hold on. Okay, so I had called one more guy called Pawan Lohia. Probably he was also complaining the same. That call has
Yeah,
gone
he
today
has.
to him. And for Arpit Agarwal, I'm sorry if that is the case. I'll just call you today, and my team will give you a call today to make sure that your issue is being addressed, sir.
Yeah.
Rohit ji, regarding Mr. Ramesh Bansal issue, already we have escalated with the technical team, and I think they are working on it. Please
Sir,
follow it up. Okay.
Mr. Ramesh
Ramesh,
Bansal had 3 issues, sir. One was login, and he was also registering one of the directors, sir. For login issues, I have resolved his query yesterday, sir, completely. He's able to log in now. So for him, for the director issue that for the fresh director he want to register, for that, sir, I have really stuck, sir. I have been continuous touch with him, and Sakshi itself has been regular touch with him. We have promised him after this call we'll get his registration for a director director issue to be fixed, sir.
Very good, very good. Okay, Rohit.
And next question is also for LLP agreement within 30 days. If we have already taken up with Mr. Ramesh Chandra Bansal.
I think Shri Kumar sir, he had an issue that some fee or some fine will be there. We had some relaxed some things, right? So can you just I think he had some issues on that.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Next is I have to file LLP agreement within 30 days from the date of incorporation, which was 22/2. Hence, the due date was 23/3/2022, which is already passed because of my issues with regard to my director user ID not being able to be created yet, and my own user ID not being able to be upgraded to business user. I am just not able to meet the deadline. Is there any talk about extension of time?
I think Shri Kumar sir, this is question for you.
I think we may pass on this question as of now. Next question is for filing LLP Form 3, whether it should be the same user who applied for run and also filed Philip, or any other user can file
No, ma'am.
LLP Form 3.
The user should be same. So if you have filed user with run, the same user should file the Philip as well.
Done. Unable to upload Form 8.
But what is the issue?
Issue is not mentioned here. Request Mr. Kunamilav Rapai Benedin to write the issue, please. Then is LLP Philip resubmission facilities available in V3 because action button is disabled against resubmission status?
So there was an issue for some of the flags that we had done. This should be resolved now. If you can just put your SRN number, will help us to check the flag for this, sir.
This question is by Mr. Chandra Mohan Rana. Request you to put SRN. Then we have I filed run LLP on 14/3, but right now we are not getting any feedback from other side. Company is ready to start its business, but approval has not been received yet. What to do now? Amit Singhania.
To the company or LLP?
Pardon? Company.
Company.
No,
we are
no,
not
run
getting...
LLP. Run LLP. I filed run LLP, sir.
Okay, so there has some, I think there you could see from last 2 days, we have almost cleared, around more than expected. So probably your run will be in process to get approved. If you can mention your
He can share his SRN.
Yes.
We will,
we'll get it done.
Yeah. Then Mr. Lohia, run LLP reserve name and Philip form not appearing in ID. Edit button is missing. From last 3 meetings, I am sending queries, connecting Rohit with LinkedIn. Google Form, CRC, escalation, MCA helpline, everybody is taking SRN details, but no action.
Ma'am,
Sorry.
by the time we started this call, I made sure I called Mr. Lohia, and that has been done, ma'am.
Sure. Then how can we get your previous webinar recordings? When the mass mail was sent today, it contained all the previous recordings link.
That
It's
is
the
for you,
same
ma'am.
link as the VCM link. We'll also share one more mass mailer for the previous recordings. Then our error regarding DSC attachment is not resolved yet. While doing we Philip and going for submit, when we doing signing, error show that PAN should be registered, but our DSC already registered.
Ma'am,
And
there is an issue coming from the form. So let's say example, I am one of the user which I have put a DSC number and a DSC there in the form. However, in the registration, it normally there's a change, and this is applicable only for those where this has happened. And normally the system will throw error if our DSCs or their PAN numbers which they have registered, they are not matching, and the system will throw an error. So what we are doing for these cases is just please log in the ticket. We'll make sure that this is getting addressed so that you can file your form smoothly.
Next is professional firm in V2 is registered user. Want to update as business user. It's asking membership number. In my view, option should be FRN, not membership number.
I did not get an impression that they are uploading second time.
I think Sakshi.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Is it possible for you to repeat the question?
Yeah. Professional firm in V2 is registered user. Want to update as business user. It's asking membership number. In my view, option should be FRN, not membership number.
Okay, there is a possibility that the user is no. So all the chartered accountants and cost accountants, they have their membership numbers, right? So this maybe we can take as suggestions, but then membership number is also there. So you can create, if we take FRN number, see, you may have 4 or 5 professionals in your firm, and only one membership ID will be, one user registration will be done with that particular FRN. Now, when we say that we are taking membership numbers for user registration, all the 4 or 5 professionals can create their different user registrations. So that in turn is helpful for the professionals only.
Yeah. In LLP with 2 partners, only one partner has valid DSC. Can they file all forms?
Who can file all forms, ma'am?
Out of 2 partners, one has valid DSC.
Only the one who has valid DSC can file the form, ma'am. For signing any form, and filing can be done anyhow by anyone. There is no restriction on that. However, signing the form will be that DSC validation will happen. Filing can be done by any user. There is no issue with that.
He has asked for filing only.
Yeah, so even if your DSC is not there, or even if your DSC is not valid for now, it has expired, you can definitely file the form through your user registration.
Next is, we are not able to view the form 8 after login portal.
In that case, I guess you're registered as registered user. You need to register yourself as business user to access the form.
Next, there is an error as my membership number is not valid when I put correct membership number.
If you can share the membership number, we can cross check from the database.
Okay. Mr. Bhaskar Upadhyay, if you can share your membership number, I should be having it. We'll share. Yeah. Then we have, I'm unable to log in with my ID and password. The page is keeping on loading. When I'm using another ID and password, I'm able to log in. And another is, I'm also assured for the callback, but did not receive any. Burugu Aravind.
Ma'am, there were almost 300 odd people that we had received. We had already called 100 odd, ma'am. If we are still, our team are still doing the calls every day, we are able to finish 60, 70 odd calls in a day. But we'll ensure that a call is being done, ma'am. So if someone has not received it, please make sure that we'll give you a call another 1 or 2 days, sir. We are
Sure.
making sure that is being done, ma'am.
For the first query, what we got is we'll Form 24 resubmission. We have got the SRN number. We'll send it to you.
Just share it to me and I will just take it up.
Yeah. Form 8 submitted on old portal, but now on new portal unable to resubmit the same.
Ma'am, Form 8 you are saying resubmission is not being done, is it?
Yeah.
Ma'am, again, give us the number. We'll just check the SRN, ma'am. That will help us to check the
Sent
data.
already.
Okay, ma'am. Take.
Then while filling Philip 1 of DIN number of my partner shows that it is not approved, but it is already approved. Not able to file Philip since 21st March.
Why? What is it? If it is approved, he should be able to file the Philip. Is there any reason, ma'am, why he is not able to
No,
filing
he
that?
has just mentioned this.
Can somebody just...
Then in case of charge filing Form 8, Bank of Baroda is not there. I cannot log in. My ID as PAN is wrong telling due to multiple login. How to close the issue?
Yes, so this is the problem, ma'am, for logins we have.
I have sent all the questions. Now we can take up Form 11.
Sure, ma'am. I will quickly run through the presentation.
Sakshi, even in V2 also Form 8 was STP mode. How the user is telling it was under resubmission status, I don't understand.
Sir, it should not be actually. Form 8 should never be in that status. I guess in the
Sarika ji, please
queries,
get us, the
I suppose
SRN,
he
yeah.
must be referring to, he must be referring to some other form,
Okay,
Form
sir.
3 or some other form. It should not be Form 8.
Absolutely, yeah.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sakshi.
Okay. So Form 11, all the forms are placed in this tab only. So the user can access to this Form 11 also from the same tab where Form 8 and other forms are kept. And again, the business user can access this particular form. So if you are a registered user, make sure that you have upgraded yourself to business user through your membership number, DPIN, or the other information. And then you'll be able to go ahead and file this particular form. You'll be redirected to login page if you directly go from home page, or you can log in and then access this form. Once you're directed to login page, you need to put your credentials here and then you'll be able to access Form 11. This is how the form looks like, and instruction kit is also available on the top right corner. The user can access this particular kit here and understand how the form is required to be filed. All the details you need to give here as soon as the user put the LLPIN, the requisite details which MCA already has through that particular LLPIN will get pre-filled in the disabled fields here. All the grayed out fields are disabled, and this means that all these information will get pre-filled basis whatever the information you put in the LLPIN field. The jurisdiction field, if we already have the information, this information will also get pre-filled. However, this is kept in editable mode. If it is not getting pre-filled, the user can definitely give it manually also. The search option is given in all the forms for the professionals. You can select, you can search the LLP for which you want to file this form and select the LLPIN directly from here also. As you can see, all the details are getting pre-filled here. This other address will also get pre-filled in case if the user has filed Form 12 LLP. In case if the user has not filed Form 12, this field will not be required to be given, and without this also the user can go ahead and file this particular form. All the drop downs are available for business classifications, and the principal business activity of the LLP which you had selected earlier in while incorporating, that particular business activity will also get pre-filled here. the total number of designated partners, obligation of contribution, and everything will get pre-filled here in this particular field. However, the total contribution received will get pre-filled basis whatever the information the user gives in the next tabs in the partner details. So if you have two designated partners who have till now given 50,000 rupees each as contribution, and if you give that information in the below tables, this particular information will get automatically pre-filled, calculating the total of 50,000 plus 50,000, that is 1 lakh, will get pre-filled here. So the user need not give any information here, even if that is not getting pre-filled. Once you complete the whole form, this will automatically get calculated. As all these information will get pre-filled from the Philip form or form 3 or 4 that the user has filed earlier. All these information will get pre-filled. The individual partner details, body corporate details, and other details, these tab will get open basis the numbers that we have here. So if there are no partners and only designated partners are there, individual partner details tab will not open. If you have partners as well as designated partners, all the details will get open here. And if you do not have any body corporate partners also, this tab will also remain disabled for the user. So only the information which is applicable to you, only that will be enabled for you, and you can fill in the information. The complete table of the partners and designated partners here will also get pre-filled basis the LLPIN that you give above. You need to give the penalty details here. All the you can select the number here, you can put the numbers here basis which all the rows will increase or decrease as you put the number or change the number here. And the for which you want to give the details, the partners or designated partner for which you want to give the details here, you can again put the numbers here, and all the details will all the rows will accordingly be enabled for you. Then the details of compounding of offense is also required to be given here, if any. You can go ahead with putting 0 also, as if there are no compounding offenses details that you require to give. If you want to give, you can give the number here in number of rows required, and accordingly put the details, the section number, the details of complete offense, and the date of compounding of offense as well. The turnover, whether the turnover of the LLP exceeds 5 crore or not, you can select yes or no here, and basis which certain more fields and the declaration part, the certification part will get enabled in the next page. As I requested earlier, I'm requesting again to as soon as you complete all the required information in one particular page, you need to save the information to access it, access that form later on from your application history. Once you click on save, you'll get this pop-up that the data has been saved successfully. In case if you're not receiving this pop-up, that means some mandatory information is yet to be filled in by you. And as soon as you scroll up, you'll see that particular required information which is yet to be given in a red mark, or you'll receive some error message on that particular field. When you move next, you'll move to the next page. As you see, that first page is already completed, so the stepper here has turned into a tick mark instead of a circle. So this means on the first page you have already completed all the information, and now you're on attachment and declaration part. You can choose any file. You can choose up to five files here, and you can upload these files here as attachments. Whenever you're giving any attachments, we just request you to give the proper name to the attachment as you used to do earlier also, so that it is easier for identification also. Now in the verification part, the user needs to click on the checkboxes, requisite checkboxes. If you're not doing so, you'll not be able to proceed further. As mentioned earlier, the DSC box are disabled in the web form. DSCs are required to be affixed in the PDF, which will get downloaded once you are submitting this particular form. You need to give the complete details and the designation of the person who will be affixing DSC here, and the DPIN of that particular person. Certification part, you need to give the certification details here, and basis what you select in the 12th field, the turnover, this certification will also get enabled and disabled accordingly. you need to save the information here so that you can access the complete form later on from the application history. As you click on next, you'll come to the review page. Now, as you see, attachment declaration is also completed. So a tick mark is here. Now you are at review page. Edit option is given for each and every section. You can click on edit and edit any information and save it then and there only. Once your review is completed, you can click on submit. Here, the SRN will get generated and PDF will get downloaded. Now, SRN, with this SRN, you can also later on access from your application history. You can still edit this particular form and same SRN will get generated once you edit and again submit this form. And you can directly come to the upload page, which is this, through your application history also. And here also, if you click on OK, you'll be redirected to this particular page wherein you can choose the DSCFX file and upload. Once you click on choose file, you'll be given the option to choose file from your desktop. Make sure that your DSCs are associated. Whosoever is signing the form, the DSCs are associated with the MCA portal on the new version. And then the DSCs, as soon as you upload the file here, all the DSC validations will happen. If everything is validated, you'll receive a message that the document has been successfully uploaded, and now you can proceed with the payment. So you can go ahead and make the payment. So since payment part was already covered in Form 8, so I think that will not be required to be covered again. So if any questions are there on Form 11, we can take them up also.
We have sent certain questions, Sakshi. They are not specifically on Form 11, but some of them are LLP Form 3 resubmission action button. Not able to edit the form. SRN number is already sent.
Okay, SRN number you have already shared. So we'll see to this because many people have already filed whatever their forms were under resubmission. They have already filed. If there is any specific case, we'll definitely take that up and make sure that it gets resolved.
Can we file LLP form certified by different professional from login of different professional?
Yes, definitely that can be done.
Yeah. There is an error as my membership. It is already done. Assured of callback, I have already sent to you. Then SRA numbers I've already sent. Then I'm unable to log in with my current user ID and a password on MCA LLP VB3, due to which Form 8 is pending. Please guide.
I would, ma'am, can you paste the query here again, or if you can just repeat? I would like to understand.
I'm unable to log in with my current user ID and password on MCA LLP version 3.
Okay.
To which Form 8 is pending.
Okay, so now for this, if you already have a V2 user ID, like earlier by which you were filing company related forms, you can definitely log in through that in the new version of LLP filing. If you're not able to do so, we would like to address this issue specifically. Or if there is any particular, I need to understand what error is coming up, then only I'll be able to properly guide here. What error do you get when you try to log in? Is the system not able to recognize your email ID or username, or you're not able to get the password, or some hint question problem is there? What exactly is the issue? If you can share the details, we can definitely. Okay, we will definitely reach out.
Mr. Bansal had a question earlier. I think we misinterpret that. He had a question that with the same login ID, he has filed a run, and then he has filed with the same login ID. He was filing Philip. Now his question was not Philip. He wanted to know about Form 3. That is it the same login ID that will be used? Sir, what is happening in the Philip? You are mentioning the run form, and that is the reason the same login ID has to be used. However, Form 3 can be filed from other user ID as well, if he's a professional. Thank you.
So now next question is, we are unable to check the reasons for resubmission. Run LLP was submitted. We received an email that the same is put for resubmission. However, how do we check the reasons? For resubmission, they're not getting the reasons, sir.
So, sir, ma'am, there was an issue. We are fixing this defect on the weekend. So by Monday, this will be visible in the application history itself.
Oh, okay. No.
I'm unable to update my renewed DSC of one of the designated partner of LLP. The old DSC expired.
Ma'am, renewal of
And-
DSC is not dealt by MCA, so they need to reach out to the person
they
who
have
can.
renewed it, but renewed DSC is not updated on the portal.
So you need to go to the associate DSC service. If your login ID is already there, you can log in and click on associate DSC service and definitely do that. If you're facing any challenge, you need to let us know what challenge is that so that we can address properly.
While filling Philip, one of the DIN number of my partner shows that is not this question we have already taken. Many of the people are saying we have already spoken. I think we have dealt with all the questions, and wherever we requested for SRNs we have received.
Okay.
Yeah, the questions have been taken up now. Yes, Mr. Rohit.
With this, ma'am, I think we could see the things are getting resolved. I would request to have everybody patience to make sure that we are reaching each one of them. For whomsoever we are not able to reach it, there are so many calls, so many issues. Probably we are all our team are dealing with. I would request to have patience, and I'm really sorry that if we are not able to reach any one of them. So I could see that some of the users have reached out today that they are not being reached out. We'll make sure, sir, next couple of days we are able to reach out to you and make sure your issues are getting raised. But that does not stops you to raise your ticket on the call center, sir. You can very well reach there. There's a call center being enhanced service is there. We are putting their team 24/7 to make sure your issues are getting addressed and those defects are taken up. With this, ma'am, that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Rohit ji. Thank you, Shri Kumar sir. On behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, we thank Ministry of Corporate Affairs and L&T for taking up the issues and resolving the same. We hope that in future also you will resolve the issues. We have with us live 1,650 participants. Thank you all for joining, and we request Rohit ji to give a call back and resolve the issues rather than only telling that we'll be calling, sir. It's our humble
Thank you,
request to
Sarika ji.
call and
Yeah.
take up the questions. Thank you, Shri Kumar sir. If you want to say something.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarika ji, and thank you all members. Please keep on escalate your issues. Definitely, it will be resolved because we are meticulously seeing and observing, watching each and every queries, and we are giving necessary instructions also time and again. Definitely, it will be sorted out. Thanks for your patience. Thank you all once again. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you in absentia, my chairperson Shri Priya Kumar madam and Preeti Savla madam, who are constantly onto this project to make it successful. Thank you everyone for joining with us. Thank you. We'll meet on 28th with new forms. Thank you.